Matt, thank you. We know you'll be monitoring that for us. Matt Rivers in Hong Kong. Sunday's protests are said to be the largest in Hong Kong since the handover from Britain to China back in 1997. Chris Patten was Britain's final governor of Hong Kong and was a vital part of that transition. You can see him here at the handover, a hugely significant moment. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
As British administration ends, we are, I believe, entitled to say that our own nation's contribution here was to provide the scaffolding that enabled the people of Hong Kong to ascend. The rule of law, clean and light-handed government, the values of a free society, the beginnings of representative government and democratic accountability.
Well, I spoke to Chris Patten about the protests that we're seeing today and this controversial extradition bill which would allow extraditions to mainland China, a move which he believes threatens those very values that he said he celebrated in 1997.
What this move does is to remove the sort of firewall between the rule of law in Hong Kong, which guarantees Hong Kong's way of life, and the notion of law in mainland China, in which there's no real difference between the security services and the courts, between party rules and the courts, in which people make show confessions on television, in which human rights lawyers are locked up for trying to represent their clients. And it's lamentable, and it will damage Hong Kong, not least as an international trade hub. That's why so many businesses and chambers of commerce have denounced the move, just as lawyers have done and just as the public have done, in those hundreds of thousands we saw in the television shots on Sunday.
And you mentioned that this promise had been made to Hong Kong to respect all of those things back in 1997. Does this move actually come as a surprise happening now, or have there been clues over the last couple of years which have made you concerned about this erosion of liberties in Hong Kong?
I think we've all been rather surprised and worried over the last few years because, to be honest, for 10 a dozen years after 1997, things went pretty well, not as perfectly as I would have liked. I didn't like the fact that democratic development was choked back despite the promises that China had made. But I think ever since President Xi Jinping came in and began rolling back Deng